Welcome back to The Explainer. So if you've been following along, you know we've already done a comprehensive deep dive into the popularity of departments across 21 top universities, places like National Taiwan University, Chengchi,阳明交通, Chengkung, and so on. But today, we're putting China Medical University, or CMU, strictly under the microscope. We're going to see how its 17 departments truly stack up by benchmarking them directly against those 21 peer institutions. We'll look exactly at where CMU leads the pack and, just as importantly, where it falls behind.
Right. So before we get into the numbers, we need to answer one absolutely crucial question. How do we actually calculate this popularity? We aren't just guessing here, and we certainly aren't going off subjective prestige.
Instead, we rely on a hard metric called the popularity index. Think of it as a combo deal. It takes the screening passing rank, basically how hard a program is to get into, and combines that with the student preference rate, which is the percentage of eligible students who actually chose to enroll. So what we're looking at is true, verified market demand straight from the students themselves. For today's diagnostic report, we're hitting 6 main areas. We've got the popularity formula, the elite medical heavyweights, CMU's Chinese medicine legacy, mid-tier rehab and medtech, subsidies, nursing and science, and finally, niche subjects and hidden flaws. Now, you really have to frame this data around 2 massive macroeconomic shifts. First, 2022. That was the year the new curriculum guidelines hit, causing, well, total chaos. Top students got anxious, played it safe, and aimed slightly lower, which meant private medical titans like CMU became incredibly competitive. Then fast forward to 2024, the government drops a new private school tuition subsidy, about 35,000 NTD a year. Keep these 2 events in mind because they literally changed the whole playing field. All right, Section 1, the elite medical heavyweights and how they compete at the very top. Looking at the big picture across all 22 universities, CMU sits at a solid number 13 overall. That puts them in the upper middle echelon, just trailing top national schools and private giants like Taipei Medical University and Changgung. But let's zoom in on CMU's core medicine department. It's sitting at a highly competitive rank 6 nationally. Now sure, it trails heavyweights like NTU,阳明交通, Chengkung, and Taipei Medical, but it comfortably outpaces Kaohsiung Medical University. And get this, look at that growth factor, up by 0.0071. During that 2022 curriculum panic we just talked about, top students needed safe bets, and CMU's brand absolutely capitalized on it. Next up, we do an apples-to-apples comparison for dentistry and pharmacy. CMU dentistry comes in at a highly competitive rank 17, showing some really solid growth. It trails Chengkung and NTU, but it's running neck and neck with peers like Taipei Medical and Kaohsiung Medical. Pharmacy tells a pretty similar story down at rank 75. It trails the top nationals for sure, but it holds a super stable line right alongside KMU. Honestly, the demand for these licensed professions still incredibly strong.
Section 2, the Chinese medicine legacy, or what I like to call CMU's unique DNA.
You see, CMU isn't just another medical school. This place boasts massive international visibility for basically being the pioneer in flawlessly blending traditional Chinese medicine with modern Western medical science. Plus, they've built up serious global prestige for pioneering targeted cancer therapies. This combo creates a unique DNA that is a massive, massive draw for students. And when you look at the numbers for Chinese medicine, you'll see 2 totally distinct paths. Group A, which runs a double major system, sits at a really impressive rank 25. It trails阳明交通but confidently beats out Changgung. Then you have Group B. This track has a strictly traditional focus, sitting at rank 36, but wow, it's showing a surprisingly aggressive upward trend in popularity. The market is clearly screaming that it values both the versatility of the dual degree and the specialized traditional approach. Moving into Section 3, mid-tier rehab and medtech, which are kind of the struggling joints right now. Okay, as we move down the tier list, we hit a really stark challenge in the medical technology departments, and we absolutely cannot sugarcoat this. Physical therapy is at rank 288, medical lab tech is at 375, and radiology is all the way down at 464. Every single one of these departments is showing negative growth. Why? Well, they are bleeding applicants to national universities like Chengkung and阳明交通, simply because CMU lacks that protective national label. That makes these mid-tier programs extremely vulnerable. On to Section 4, subsidies, nursing, and science. Essentially, the life raft. So remember that 2024 government subsidy we mentioned earlier? the 35,000 NTD per year? That completely changed the math. Suddenly, the financial burden of going to a private university shrank significantly. It completely flipped the calculus for students who are agonizing over choosing between a lower-ranked national university and a specialized private school like CMU. Because of that financial buffer, CMU's nursing at rank 527, nutrition at 493, and the public health freshman program at 520 all kept a really solid competitive edge. I mean, yes, they still trail titans like NTU and NCKU, and okay, public health did see a slight drop as the pandemic ended. But when you compare them to liberal arts privates like Soochow or Tomkong, CMU offers highly tangible job security, and students are totally willing to bet on that. We see that exact same dynamic supporting biotech at rank 569, biomedical engineering at 490, and sports medicine at 593. With the tuition gap closing, these programs are actually keeping their applicant pools pretty stable against regional and national schools like Chungsing or Sun Yat-sen. Bottom line, students are choosing the stability of a health science degree over the prestige of a mid-tier national label. Section 5. Niche subjects and hidden flaws. Let's look at the prognosis. Now, to get an accurate prognosis, we have to look directly at the structural vulnerabilities. We can't pretend these don't exist. Looking at the very bottom of the data, health informatics sits at rank 638, cosmeceutics at 641, and Chinese pharmacy and medicine resources is severely lagging at rank 681. These unique foundational science programs are frankly facing a severe downward trend. If students don't make it into the top medical tiers, they are increasingly just looking elsewhere. Lacking a national university label and Taipei's geographical advantage is severely eroding these niche programs. Pretending those deficits don't exist, that only delays the cure. When you compare CMU to a rival like Taipei Medical University, which heavily benefits from its central location in the capital, CMU really struggles to attract students to its non-core disciplines. Without the national label or Taipei's prime geography, the foundational programs are just actively eroding. So, what's the big takeaway from all this data? Look, CMU is undoubtedly an elite giant in medicine, dentistry, and its absolutely unparalleled Chinese medicine programs. The numbers prove that for sure. But I'll leave you with this final question. Can CMU leverage its world-class prestige and pivot towards high-demand fields like AI health data integration to rescue its most vulnerable, lagging departments before it's literally too late? It's a fascinating challenge for such a top-tier institution. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer, and we will catch you in the next deep dive.